so the first time I hear Avenged Sevenfold, I'm, you know, I don't know how old I was, but I'm playing Madden 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, you've got Donovan McNabb, Terrell Owens, very strong Eagles team. I'm a huge Eagles fan. And I'm just throwing nukes down the field. And I've got, I want to say, Unholy Confessions.
Yeah. It was either that or Chapter 4 as well.
Yeah.
It was like,
and it was so sick. You also had like Bubba Sparks on that soundtrack. And it was just Blink 182. It was literally just an iconic soundtrack. And then you're in Guitar Hero. You've also done stuff with Call of Duty, which is as big as it gets in gaming. How much has gaming had an influence on the band's career? Like these being included in these massive games?
Yeah, so Steve Schnurr over at EA was doing this new thing that hadn't been done in games before, where he was bringing like contemporary artists and putting them in these sort of sports games. And that was a relationship that Larry had from Capitol Records, that he knew Steve, who moved over to the video gaming world. And he had this idea. We sent him Waking the Fallen, and he loved it. And so all of a sudden, it was like Avenged is going to be in all these games, which was incredible, which helped propel that record. I think I just got noticed that the record went platinum.
Wow.
So that was cool. But at the time, I remember it hit 100,000 records, 125,000 records, and then the major labels came. And then once we were on Warner, I think the Guitar Hero thing happened because we were very much a guitar band after City of Evil, with Backcountry being so big and those things. And then after that, Call of Duty came from our A&R guy at Warner. Craig Aronson was good friends with Mark Lamia, who was the president of Treyarch, who basically brought Call of Duty to Activision when he brought over Infinity Ward, and they had this idea after watching Saving Private Ryan. So he was like the Call of Duty guy. And when they decided they need a game every year, he went from the guy who brought the game in and the developers to being the president of the company that wasn't quite making the game as good as the other team.
Right.
So he went in there to clean it up, and he invented Black Ops. So now you had Infinity, or you had Modern Warfare and Black Ops going back and forth yearly.
Right.
And so, but Mark wanted to have metal because he's a rock guy. And I consider him one of my best friends now. We're very close now. But at the time, I get a call from Craig Aronson because when Jimmy had passed away,
Right.
I got really deep into Call of Duty and first-person shooters. I had been my whole life, but Call of Duty really was one that...
That's what I was going to ask, is if you were a gamer yourself.
Huge gamer.
Great.
Loved Call of Duty.
Hell yeah.
And Mark wanted a band that actually loved the game, not...
I'm nuts about
not a big... He didn't want any big artists that didn't actually play the game. So...
That's so sick.
So basically, Craig told Mark, you got to meet Matt. We went in there and we just like... It was just woodshedding, like... Dude, nades need to be more powerful than this. And I'm playing like there's a thing here, a glitch here. And he's like,
start going off like exploits of
he's like, write me, tell me what you think. So I wrote him paragraphs and he would send it to the team. And I got involved with like David Vonderhaar and like testing it. And he's like, come in and test it. So then he's like, do you guys want to do something with the game? I'm like, dude, we've never done a track for a game because we'd always thought it was cheesy. I'm like, but this could be something that we actually get behind because we actually play it. So we ended up doing Not Ready to Die as an Easter egg in the zombies thing. And then we ended up doing Carry On, but it came out of a friendship and a love for what each other do.
You know, and I think maybe years ago we would go like, okay, it might be cheesy to do a video game song, but now video games are bigger than movies.
Yeah. Well, back then it seemed easy. Yeah.
But you guys are always ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
we got lucky on that though. But if it would have been like someone else and I didn't know Mark and I didn't love Call of Duty, we would have said no. But the reality is at the time it was, we love Call of Duty. We can back this, right? If someone says you're a sellout, I go, I'm a sellout. Look at my stats, bro.
Oh, bro, selling out. I mean, you know, that's a whole nother conversation where there's just like a million different meanings to that, which I think at this point is equated to like, you know, just commercial success.
Well, it's evolved, right? It's evolved because when we started, we were so worried about not selling out. Like we loved bands like Rancid who weren't going to sign to the major at first. They eventually did. But then No Effects was so cool to us because they wouldn't sign to a major and they had that gold record, Punk and Drublick. And they started their own labels. And so we were so obsessed with that. But we had a skewed vision of, like, I remember listening to Green Day before Dookie. And then Dookie came out and it was huge. I was like, that's... You know, I was that kid, right? That's like, so I get the mentality, but it was a different thing back then because you were seeing punk rock become mainstream and it was weird because like Offspring, like Green Day, Blink, Like it was like weird.
Massive.
They were massive. They were like your mom was listening to it.
Yeah.
It's like, this is not cool anymore.
Like American Idiot was such a huge record for them. I mean, at the time it was like, you know, it was just gigantic. And
But I mean, like Dookie went from nothing to 10 million records.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And the songs on there are just so strong, and it's just, you know. So, I mean, are you nice on Call of Duty? I mean, are you good or?
Well, now I play a lot of PUBG.
Really?
I play PUBG.
PUBG.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, do a lot of people even play PUBG now?
They do. I enjoy the quick twitchness of Call of Duty, but what I really started playing a lot of, this is so funny because now a lot of our crew are like famous from doing that. So we used to have a game battles crew. Game battles is no equipment. It's, you have a grenade and a gun, and there's no dead silence or any of that stuff, right? No radar, anything. It's like gun skill.
It's like it's close to in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we would play that every night. And one of our guys, it was me and our whole crew, and then with Dr. Disrespect, we would play with him every night before he was Dr. Disrespect, like guy.
No shit.
And he had this like YouTube channel and he was starting. We'd love his videos. We're laughing about it, but we would play game battles every night for years. And then he went on.
know this.
I know, it's crazy. And so me and Guy are still really close because it's like awesome to watch.
awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. And so, but we would play game battles. And then what I loved about PUBG was once you went back into the public matches and you just die by all these things that were not skill based.
Right.
I got over it. And then PUBG to me was like, none of that stuff existed. It was gun skill. There was no auto assist or aim assist. And I became obsessed with it. And now I've been playing PUBG for 6 years and I still play it every night.
Yeah. I love all of those games, and I've spent many times on PUBG, and I understand they've also like evolved the game a lot. Now, are you a Xbox, PlayStation, or PC gamer?
So I'm an Xbox player. I do have a PC. I do have a PC and a PlayStation. My son's a PC gamer, and he makes fun of me now. He's 10 years old. He's like, "Oh, Xbox, PC Master Race," you know, like so.
He's like your 10-year-old son. Is he like a Reddit troll or
He's
something?
like a little, like he's already on Discord, and he's got he's an Arc, and he's got worlds that he's building, and he's learning Unreal 5 right now.
He's learning Unreal Engine.
Yeah, so
That's dope.
he just loves it. And he also creates, like, he takes Nikes and takes them apart and creates shoes for people.
That's a high value
He's a
skill.
really creative kid.
But, you know, Madden for me really exposed me to the band, and that whole soundtrack was so big for rock.